So I got my concealed carry permit, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit in case anyone was kind of like on the fence or kind of didn't know what you had to go through to get it, and was hesitant about it. So I'm just gonna talk about my experience, and maybe if you don't have yours, you'll go get it. So I'm in the state of Texas, so I'm sure the qualifications may vary per state, but it was really easy. I don't have any criminal history. I'm not in any like gang affiliated type of stuff, so I don't really have to worry about anything like that, because of course they do like ask you questions about what's on your record and what you're affiliated with and things like that. So no problems there. But first things first, you take this shooting qualification, and it's really easy. It's 3 yards first. It's kind of like you shoot at a target, you fill up your magazine 5 rounds at a time, and you are graded based on where your bullet lands. So essentially, clearly where the target is, the center, I'll put up a picture if I can find one. The center of the target is more points. So I think the minimum that you have to pass is like 175, and you have essentially an overall score that you can get of 250. I think I got like 243 or something like that out of 250. So you're probably a more experienced shooter than me. The guy was like, a lot of people, they don't like, he was basically saying nobody gets a perfect score, which I don't see how, because if you know how to shoot and your first like rounds don't need to be like any type of practice, because you don't get any practice. You're automatically you're automatically in the test, so there is no practicing. You're expected to know how to shoot already. But if you don't need any type of practice, because for me, honestly, I haven't been to the range in a while, and I'm really starting to get back into it. But if you don't need any practice, like, I'm sure you can get a perfect score. It's really not that hard. 3 yards, and then I think it jumped to 7 yards, and then 12. So really not far at all, really doable, really easy to pass the shooting qualification. And like I said, it's like a total of like 50 rounds of ammo, so not difficult. And it's just kind of like him saying, like, your instructor or whoever, just like, shoot 2 rounds, then shoot 1, and shoot 2, or something like that. It's like a little firing drills. So anyway, after you pass that part, and clearly, like, maybe some other places do it in different orders. I'm just speaking on my experience. So after that, you kind of go in, and there's like the instruction part. You talk about the laws, and so the laws that I learned were clearly related to Texas, right? One thing about having a license to carry is that you're expected to know the laws in every state that you go to. So it's on you to know, when you can have your gun in and when you can't. But we talked about kind of like stand your ground stuff, like what's kind of the justification for force versus deadly force and things like that. Just real simple stuff, and just kind of like the laws and the codes that go with it. When can you open carry? When can you conceal carry? When can't you? What signs should you be looking at? Things like that. Real easy stuff. So the instruction is minimum 4 hours, and then you take like a written exam at the end. If you paid any attention at all and retained any information from the briefing and the presentation that they're giving, then you'll be perfectly fine. Honestly, a lot of this stuff was kind of like common sense. The safest way to keep a firearm away from a child is to hide it. It was true or false? False. The safest way is to secure it. Stuff like that. It may ask about like specific laws, specific codes, and you're not like memorizing like, oh, law 32 blah 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 says this. Like, no, it's not like that. But yeah, so you should have no problem passing that. And then other than that, it's literally just like getting your fingerprints done, paying little fees. So like the overall thing isn't even really that expensive. Like you pay for your fingerprints, you pay for the class slash shooting qualification that may be lumped into one, and maybe like I don't know if there's like an application fee for something else. I don't even know. I just kind of like didn't really pay attention to the price because it really wasn't that expensive. When I say this whole process was probably was like under $200 easy. So if you've been contemplating, should I get my license to carry or should I not? Like, real easy process. Shooting qualification is easy. The written exam is really easy. And then really the only thing you have to think of is like, I mean, so when you get your license to carry, you're not like obligated to like be a hero in a situation, right? Like you don't have to like, just because you have your license to carry doesn't mean that you're gonna be like the, you know, the hailed hero when there's something that goes on. And to be honest, you may never even be in a situation like that, so you don't really have to like worry about that. But I say this, if you're in a situation and you are concealed carrying and you're fearing for your life, and you know, you do what you gotta do, and it gives you that right to do that. And I think that's so worth it, especially in the day and age that we live in. Like, society is really insane. It's really crazy. We hear about stuff all the time. And like, you have to know the laws, right? Like you know, you can't take your gun everywhere. You can't not conceal carry everywhere, right? So there are specific laws when it comes to schools and universities and like school events, sporting events. In Texas, you can't conceal carry at a racetrack, things like that. So there's clearly, you have to learn and you have to know. But like I said, if you're in a situation where you can conceal carry and there's no law against that, and then all of a sudden something pops off, you know, you can save yourself or other people. Like, especially for me as a woman, and let me speak to all my women. If anybody, you know, if you're a woman, you're watching this, like, we know that the world is crazy for women. We go to the gas station and get harassed. We can go to the grocery store and get followed. You know, you just know what you experience as a woman. It's all sorts of creeps in the world. It is all sorts of creeps. It is all sorts of, like, we are easy targets. We're smaller. We're not as strong. Some of us are not as strong. Me personally, I'm literally 5'2". Like, I mean, I may be solid. You know, I go to the gym, but I'm still 5'2". If a man wants to overpower me, he very well may, you know? And so there's just all sorts of situations that we can get in to where we really may fear for our life, or our life really may be in danger. And guess what? You got your gun and you got your concealed carry. You ain't even got to worry about it. All right, you trying to kidnap me? You know, so yeah. Get your concealed carry, man or woman, you know? You never know when it could come in use, and it's really easy to get. And like I said, just know your laws for whatever state you're in.